Salam and good day to our lecturer, Dr. Nurhayati, and everyone. My name is Nur Shazwina, and before we started, I'm going to introduce you to our group members, which are Najla Shahira, Nur Shafina Farahim, Nur Zakira, Nurizah Nabila, and me. We are going to present about the effectiveness of Families First workshop and association between program quality and child symptom severity.
Autism Spectrum Disorder (ASD) is a neurological development disorder that is categorized by difficulties in communication and social interaction, limited and stereotyped behavior patterns, sensory dysfunction, and limited hobbies or interests. This might challenge for parents because the way to take care of children with ASD is not the same as taking care of normal child. Therefore, this workshop is run as a suitable program for the parents and caregivers to gain and add knowledge about autism spectrum disorder. By conducting this workshop, it might help parents, caregivers, and also children with ASD to learn together and lead to closer relationship by having interaction with each other. Thus, this research analysis aims to identify the effectiveness of the workshop that give the motivation and knowledge to the parents on how they can deal with themselves when having autism spectrum disorder. Children, by utilizing the right methods to take care of these special children when they are having a hard time. There are two objectives in these studies. The first one is to determine whether parents' understanding has improved as a result of their participation in the workshop. The second one is to determine whether program quality rating or the severity of child symptoms are related to parental knowledge. For the research question, it will focus on the opinion of this workshop. There will be 3 criteria that need to be determined after this workshop is done. The first one is Service User Technology Acceptance Questionnaire. The second one is Telehealth Satisfaction Questionnaire. And the third one is the Facilitator Rating Profile. The research question will be include. The first one is, do parents gain the knowledge for attending the Family First workshop held at Sunway University? And the second one is, are the comfort, pleasure, and facilitated quality evaluation connected to the knowledge and severity of the child systems? And the third one is the severity of child symptom is related to the experience and understanding of the knowledge?
The illustration shown here is our conceptual framework, which is parents attend Families First workshop to demographic, Service User Technology Acceptance Questionnaire, to Telehealth Satisfaction Questionnaire, and to Facilitator Rating Profile. For the hypothesis, we have generated 4 hypotheses, which is first, the relationship between the parents or guardians of ASD children and knowledge they will gain through the workshop. And the second hypothesis is the relationship between the workshop and the satisfaction from parents. And the third one is the relationship between quality of the workshop and the parents' rating. And the last hypothesis is that the relationship between facilitators and the comfort of parents and guardians.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shafina Farahim binti Zalizan, and I'm going to present about population. Okay, for the population, the target population for this survey is specific to the parents. We target this group of parents to assist the knowledge of Family First workshop and assist if this workshop quality ratings and child symptom severity are associated with the parents' knowledge. We can see the graph at the pie chart, respondents' gender, which is from parents' gender, is 50% from the male and 50% for the female. And the next one, the bar chart is Chinese 70%, 42 is Malay, 30% is from Indian, and 11% from the others. The next pie chart is we can see the respondent age from parents' age. We can see 23 to 27 years old is 3%, 28 to 32 years old is 30%, and 33 to 37 years old we can see 48%, 38 to 42 years old is 15%, and 43 to 47 years old is 4%. For the child's gender, we also have 50% from male and 50% from the female. For the race, also same. For the Chinese, we have 70%. For Malay, we have 42% and Indian 31% and others is 10%. Next one is child's age. We can see 1 to 3 years old has 24%. 4 to 6 years old, we can see 44% and 7 to 10 years old is 28% and 11 to 30 years old is 4%. Next is sampling. For this sampling, we use a stratified random sampling as the sampling method. The objective is to guarantee that each stratum has an acceptable representations. The sample size is approximately 100 respondents obviously from parents, and greater sample size minimize sampling error, although at a slower rate. Next one is the research instrument. This survey is not too rigorous, which means we just need to make sure that the procedure follow to find answer to the question are relevant and appropriate to the respondent. We use questionnaire and surveys as our research instruments for parents who will join the Family First workshop online to conduct the surveys.
My name is Nur Zakira binti Zulkifli, and I'm going to present the next slide about descriptive statistics, which is part of the data analysis. The first variable we use in this descriptive statistic is demographic. This variable contains 8 questions. The number of the respondent is 100, meanwhile the number of the mean is 2.1133, and the number of standard deviation is 0.36228. The second variable we use in descriptive statistics is parent satisfaction or service user technology acceptance questionnaire SUTAC. This variable contains 8 questions. The number of the respondent is 100, meanwhile the number of the mean is 4.5212 and the number of standard deviation is 0.27470. The third variable we use in descriptive statistics is the quality rating or telehealth satisfaction questionnaire TSQ. This variable contains 6 questions. The number of the respondent is 100, meanwhile the number of the mean is 5.1750 and the number of standard deviation is 0.25555. And the last variable we use in this descriptive statistic is facilitator rating profile FRP. This variable contains 8 questions. The number of the respondent is 100, meanwhile the number of the mean is 5.3175 and the number of standard deviation is 0.20134.
In this slide, I will explain more about the frequency of the data. For parents' gender, there are 50 male out of 100 respondents, which is the same as female gender. So in this table here, it can be identified that the highest frequency of race is Malay, which is 48% from the respondent. For the lowest frequency of age is belong to other race with only 11% of the respondents. For this table, the highest frequency of age is 33 to 37 years old with 48% from the respondent, and the lowest frequency belongs to parents who's in age 43 to 47 years old with 4% of respondents. So if we look at this table, it shows that 50 males out of 100 respondents have 50% responses and 50 females out of 100 respondents have 50% responses as represented by 50 respondents. So if we look at this table, it shows that 50 males out of 100 respondents have 50% responses and 50 females out of 100 respondents have 50% responses as represented by 50 respondents. In this child's race frequency table, it can be identified that the highest frequency of race is Malay, which is 42 with 42% from the respondent. For the lowest frequency of race is belong to other race, 10 frequencies with 10% of respondents. In this last table, we identified that the highest frequency of age is 4 to 6 years old with frequency 44, which is 44% from the respondent. For the lowest frequency of age is belong to child who is in age 11 to 13 years old with frequency 4, which is 4% of respondent.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzah Nabila binti Kamil Barin. So for the next section, I'll be presenting the inferential statistic. The first one is reliability test. Reliability is done to determine whether the variables that we're using is reliable or otherwise. When chroma alpha is above 0.6, the variable is reliable. As you can see, the first table shown is the case processing summary. The case process summary table shows that it has 100 valid cases and 0 excluded for a full total of 100. There is 0 missing value for any of the items. Table 2 shows that the reliability statistic it shows the Chromebox alpha value is 0.245, which is considered poor because if the Chromebox alpha is below 0.6 to 0.7, ranges are acceptable, and below 0.6 considered poor. Next is a table of item statistic, whereby the number of mean and STD deviation are reasonably close. Move on to the next table, which is the skill statistic. The mean for reliability test for both items is 15.0137, the variance is 0.217, and the STD deviation is 0.46549. Next is the item total table. From this table, we can highlight the lowest corrected item total correlation to increase the Chromebox alpha. As shown in table, TSQ and FRP has the lowest corrected item total correlation, and if it is removed, the Chromebox alpha will improve slightly. In order to complete the inferential statistic, we created 3 hypotheses to determine its significance difference. The purpose of significance difference is to see whether there are relationships between hypotheses or vice versa. The first one is there is no significant differences between gender in parent satisfaction, or we call it SUTAC, Service User Technology Acceptance Questionnaire, and it is accepted. The second hypothesis is there is no significant differences between gender in self-quality workshop, or TSQ, Telehealth Satisfaction Questionnaire, and it is also accepted. The last hypothesis is there's no significant differences between gender in self-FRP, which is Facilitator Rating Profile. Based on the t-test table above, it shows that there is no significant difference between gender in satisfaction of parents that attend the workshop, and the hypothesis is accepted. The p-value for t-test is 0.498, more than 0.05, shows that gender doesn't give effect to SUTAC. In the table above also, we can see that there don't have many mean differences, only 0.05509 between male and female. Next, based on the t-test table above, also it shows that there is no significant difference between gender in quality rating of parents that attend the workshop, and the hypothesis is accepted. The p-value for t-test is 0.846, more than 0.05, shows that gender doesn't give effect to TSQ. In the table above also, we can see that they don't have many mean differences, only 0.01000 between male and female. Last but not least, based on the t-test table above, it shows that there is no significant difference between gender in FRP, Facilitator Rating Profile, of parents that attend the workshop, and the hypothesis is accepted. The p-value for t-test is 0.712. It is more than 0.05 and shows that the gender doesn't give effect to FRP. In the table above, also, we can see that they don't have many mean differences, only 0.01500 between male and female. That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the correlation, we generate 4 hypotheses. The first hypothesis is there is relationship between the parents of ASD children and knowledge gained throughout the workshop. And the table of correlation analysis shows that the hypothesis is not accepted. Based on the significant two-tail, the p-value is more than 0.05, which is 0.04 as formulated in the SPSS. Therefore, the independent variable which is demographic and the independent variable is parent attend to family first workshop does not have a significant relationship. So it can be concluded we cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. The second hypothesis for the correlation is there is a relationship between SUTEQ, Service User Technology Acceptance Questionnaire, and parents attend family's first workshop. The table of correlation analysis shows that the hypothesis is not accepted. Based on the significant to-tail, the p-value is more than 0.05, which is 0.64 as formulated in the SPSS. Therefore, the dependent variable which is SUTEQ and an independent variable is parent attend to family's first workshop does not have a significant relationship. So it can be concluded we cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. The third hypothesis is there is a relationship between TSQ, Telehealth Satisfaction Questionnaire, and parents attend family first workshop. The table of correlation analysis shows that the hypothesis is not accepted based on the significant to-tail. The p-value is more than 0.05, which is 0.59 as formulated in the SPSS. Therefore, the dependent variable which is TSQ and the independent variable is parent attend to family's first workshop does not have a significant relationship. So it can be concluded we cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. The fourth and the last hypothesis is there is a relationship between FRP, Facilitator Rating Profile, and parents attend family's first workshop. The table of correlation analysis shows that the hypothesis is not accepted. Based on the significant to-tail, the p-value is more than 0.05, which is 0.425 as the formulated in the SPSS. Therefore, the dependent variable which is FRP and the independent variable is parent attend to family first workshop does not have a significant relationship. So it can be concluded we cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. Thank you.